Hey, today we're looking at 7 phrases that make you sound less confident and, in some cases, less professional in English. And, of course, some alternatives that you can use so you can sound more confident and more professional. So, let's get started. First up, we have one word, and the word is just. Using the word just or overusing the word just can make you sound like you're lacking confidence and you're kind of unsure of yourself. Of course, depending on how you use it. So, for example, at work, if you say, I was just wondering if you could help me. I was just wondering if you could help me. This is absolutely not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. However, the word just kind of softens your message a little bit. And if your intention is to soften your message, then of course, go ahead and use just. But in this case, you're maybe asking a colleague or your boss for some help with something, and you want to be sure of yourself when making this request. So instead, you can simply remove the word just. So instead of saying, I was just wondering if you could help me, you can say, I was wondering if you could help me with this, okay? Instead of saying, I just wanted to follow up. You can simply say, I wanted to follow up to discuss ABC. Okay, I wanted to follow up to discuss. It just makes you sound more sure of yourself. Now, this is not to say that you should never use the word just. Actually, I use the word just all the time. However, just softens your message a little bit, and it also makes you come across as a little bit more empathetic. So there's a time and a place when just is excellent. It makes total sense to use it. So I myself do use just quite often with my students because I am trying intentionally to soften my tone and to express empathy a little bit more. So if you are trying to do that, then absolutely go ahead and use just. But if you want to sound more confident, you can maybe try removing just from your requests and from your statements, especially at work. You should also be aware of whether you are overusing this word, so using it too much. So try to pay attention and see how often you are using the word just, and maybe make some adjustments if you need to. Next we have, I'm not 100% sure, but, or I may be wrong, but. So I'm not 100% sure, but, or I may be wrong, but. These two phrases have quite similar meanings, and both of them make you sound unsure, and they make you sound like you are not confident in the statement you are about to make. So when you use phrases like this, you are literally announcing to the other person, to your listener, that you are not sure about what you're going to say. And if you're not sure and if you are not confident, then why should anyone else be confident in what you're going to tell them, right? So you are planting this idea in their mind subconsciously before you even start talking that you're not really sure. So if you're not sure, then why are you even talking in the first place, right? So we want to avoid using phrases like this, I'm not 100% sure, or I may be wrong, but. Instead, you could use phrases like, I am aware that, I know that, or I am sure that. I'm aware, I know, and I'm sure. So you are declaring that you are confident in what you're about to say. So instead of saying, I'm not 100% sure, but I think our clients have responded well to this promotion, or I may be wrong, but I think our clients have responded well to this promotion, you could say something like, I am aware that our clients have responded well to this promotion. Or you can simply say, our clients have responded well. You can remove the phrase at the beginning altogether and simply make your statement as a confident statement. A lot of people do use phrases like this. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. I hear many native English speakers using these phrases as well. However, again, it just makes you sound less confident. So remove these phrases from your vocabulary. Try to pay attention when you are speaking, especially at work, to whether you are using these phrases or not and how often you use these phrases. And then try to consciously remove them. Try to catch yourself whenever you're about to say, I could be wrong, I'm not 100% sure, and you will definitely sound more confident. Replace them with phrases like I'm aware, I know, and I am sure that. Next, we have I guess. I guess. So using I guess makes you sound uncertain or indecisive. Instead, you can use words like certainly and definitely. So for example, instead of saying, I guess we could try this, I guess we could try this, you can say, we can definitely try this. Or, I guess this will work, I guess this will work. You can say, this will work, or this will certainly work. Or if you're talking to a client and you say, I guess we'll have this done by Wednesday for you. I guess we'll have this done by Wednesday for you. Or, we'll have this done by Wednesday for you, I guess. It makes you sound like you don't really know. Instead, you can say, we'll definitely have this ready for you by Wednesday. We'll definitely have this ready for you by Wednesday. So you can hear quite a big difference. So imagine if you were the customer or you were the client and the person you've hired is saying, I guess we'll have this done by tomorrow. I guess we'll have this ready for you. It doesn't give you as the customer or you as the client much confidence in them. It makes you feel like maybe they can't really do their job, or they need more time, or they're not sure that they can complete the task that you hired them to do. So again, you want to remove this phrase, I guess, and instead use nothing or use words like certainly or definitely, or even absolutely. Next, we have sorry to bother you, or sorry to disturb you, or sorry for disturbing you. All three phrases are quite similar, and I do hear these used quite often. I also see them used very often in emails. So I hear them in conversations and I read them in emails. Now, the problem with these phrases is that, again, you are subconsciously telling the other person that you are going to bother them, that what you have to say is going to disturb them and you're not really worthy of their time, that what you have to say is not important. Instead, it is a disturbance or it is an annoyance. So you don't want to start a conversation by announcing or declaring or saying that you are sorry that you are about to disturb or about to bother someone. Instead, if you want to start a conversation with a colleague or with your boss, you can say, excuse me, are you free to chat about this? Or is now a good time to chat about this? So excuse me, are you free to chat about, or is now a good time to chat about this? So with these phrases, you are still being polite. You are checking if it is a good time, if they are free, if they are busy. You are showing that you're respectful of the other person's time, of course, but you're not saying, I'm sorry, I'm about to disturb you, or I'm about to bother you. So for example, instead of saying, I'm sorry to bother you, can we chat about the quotation? You could say, is now a good time to chat about the quotation? Is now a good time to chat about the quotation? Or, are you free to chat about the quotation? Now, before we jump into the next phrase, if you are someone who struggles with confidence at work and you don't know how to express yourself professionally and clearly, you're not sure how to use the right tone or what vocabulary to use, I have created an amazing business English course. It's called Essential English for Business. And this course will teach you all of the key skills that you need to communicate professionally in English at work. I will link the course down below for you so you can check it out. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments for me. Next, we have I don't know or I'm not sure. I don't know or I'm not sure. Now, of course, there will be times when you really don't know or you're really not sure. However, it's not always the best idea to say, I don't know or I'm not sure to your customers, to your clients, to your superiors, your supervisors, your bosses at work. So if you don't know, there are still alternative ways of saying that which make you sound more confident and more competent. So instead, when you don't know something, you can say, I will find out. I'll find out. I'll find out for you. Or I'll let you know by a specific date or a specific time. So I'll let you know by Thursday, or I'll let you know by this afternoon. Or if you're dealing with a customer or a client, you can say, I'll introduce you to my colleague, Jeff, who is the best person to help you out with this. I'll introduce you to my colleague, Jeff, who's the best person to help you out with this. So depending on the situation, whether you are speaking, whether you are emailing, you have these 3 different alternatives. So for example, imagine that you work in an electronics store and you are helping a customer to buy a computer. And the customer asks you the specs or specifications of that specific computer and you don't know. Maybe you're new, maybe the computer is new and you just don't know. Instead of saying, sorry, I don't know, or I'm not sure, you can say, let me introduce you to my colleague Jeff, who's the best person to help you with this computer. Or another example, let's say that you are working on a project for a client and the client has asked you to make some changes. And the client asks you, how long will it take you to make these changes? Instead of saying, I'm not sure, it depends, I'll see, I don't know how long it'll take to make these changes, you can say, I'll find out how long this will take and I will let you know by this afternoon. Next we have, if you know what I mean, if you know what I mean, or do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Now, these phrases are basically filler phrases. They don't really add any value to what you're saying, first of all. And second of all, they make it sound like you need reassurance, you need validation, you feel like your message maybe wasn't clear or didn't really make sense. So again, that you were not confident in what you said, essentially. And there's really no need to use these phrases because if your listener didn't understand you or it wasn't clear, hopefully they will tell you or they'll ask you for clarification or you will see it on their face if they really are confused. So instead, just eliminate these phrases and try to train yourself to stop saying, do you know what I mean? If you know what I mean, if you get what I mean, do you get me? Because again, it just weakens your statement and makes it sound like you are not sure about what you're saying. So imagine that you and your colleagues are discussing a new concept and you feel that this concept or this idea will be confusing for your customers. Instead of saying, this might be confusing for our customers, if you know what I mean, you can simply say, this might be confusing for our customers because, and then explain why you think that, why you feel that it might be confusing. It's always important to be ready to explain why you believe something, why you're saying something, why you're presenting an idea, and this will help you to come across or present yourself as more confident because you can justify or explain or give details about what you're saying. Next we have, if that makes sense, if that makes sense, or does that make sense? Okay, and again, these 2 phrases show that you are looking for validation. You're literally asking the other person, does my point make sense? Do I make sense? Instead, you can say, what are your thoughts or what do you think? What are your thoughts or what do you think? So for example, instead of saying, we're looking for a more open design. Does that make sense? We're looking for a more open design. Does that make sense? You could say, we're looking for a more open design. What are your thoughts? We're looking for a more open design. What do you think? Okay, so instead you are opening the door to get the other person's opinion. So you're asking them, how do you feel? What do you think? What are your thoughts? And you're creating a more engaging conversation instead of saying, does that make sense? Do I make sense? Is it clear what I'm saying? And showing that you're not sure of yourself, you're not confident, you feel like maybe you didn't even really make sense. So eliminate those phrases and instead ask, What do you think, or what are your thoughts? So there you have it, phrases that make you sound less confident and less professional, and of course, what you can say instead. Now, of course, from time to time, we all lack confidence, we are unsure of ourselves, and in different situations, we can become nervous. However, our choice of words and our tone can really change that impression of us. We can always present ourselves in a confident way just by making little tweaks and little changes like this. So once again, if you are trying to improve your business English, make sure you check out my Essential English for Business course. It is linked down below. Now, if you have any questions on today's topic, please do leave them down below in the comments for me. If you liked the video, please give it a like and share it with other people who you think will find it helpful. Thanks so much for watching and for learning with me today, and I'll see you very soon in the next lesson.